Welcome, my dear. Welcome back. Albert Einstein at School by Patrick Pringle. Today I am ready with first part of this video. Let us begin. This chapter is taken from your snapshot book, Fiction 4. This lesson is actually an extract from the biography of Albert Einstein, named The Young Einstein by Patrick Pringle. In this lesson, the author familiarizes the reader with those years in Einstein's life where he was struggling each day in school, and as each day passed, the school diploma felt like a far-fetched dream for him. It throws light upon a few encounters with his teacher, what he felt about the neighborhood he lived in, and how he had only one good friend, Yuri. The way Albert strategizes to get out of the miserable place, which is for him school, and how things turn around in the end makes the story even more interesting. So up to now you have understood that it is not a fiction, it is actually a real life story. And let us see what is the summary of this chapter. This chapter centers around Albert Einstein, who is considered as one of the greatest physicists of all time. This extract describes the circumstances which lead to his expulsion from a German school. When this chapter begins, we find Albert arguing with his history teacher over learning of dates. His teacher holds him responsible for being lenient and distracting others from studies. He even ridicules Albert for knowing all the thing and calls him a disgrace in front of the whole class. This incident makes Albert feel miserable when he leaves school that afternoon. He never wanted to study in such a school that emphasizes more on rote learning than understanding the concepts and ideas. So up to now, my dear students, you have understood that Albert Einstein, a famous scientist, he was not given proper treatment in his school life. He was never considered as a genius there. For the classes, according to him, it was a place for rote learning. Means you cannot learn anything, you can just memorize things, you can just mug up things. And this he hated a lot. In those days, Albert used to have a friend, namely Yuri, who counseled him not to leave the school. Yuri, his friend, and Elsa, his cousin, try their level best to compare his life to the people worse than him, but failed to make any difference. Then Yuri gives him best of the solution of getting a nervous breakdown certificate made from one of his doctor friends who had qualified last week. Albert agrees to it An appointment is fixed and he goes to see that doctor on his appointment day. Dr. Ernst Weil knew everything beforehand as he was narrated each and everything by Yuri about Albert and his disliking about the school. While talking to him, the doctor realizes that Albert was seriously on the verge of being the victim of nervous troubles. Albert tells his plan to the doctor that he wants to go to Italy to get into an Italian college in order to learn mathematics. Having talked to him, Dr. Ernst Weil hands him over that certificate and certifies that he needs rest for 6 months, which can help him in getting rid of his school forever. Albert feels pleased after receiving that certificate. He goes to meet his mathematics teacher, Mr. Koch, and latter gives him a reference in written so that he can get admission in a good college. His teacher calls him a prodigy and says that he cannot teach him anymore. He also praises Albert, highlighting his quality of teaching his mathematics teacher. Before Albert could go out to hand over his certificate to his head teacher, he is summoned to head's room and ordered to leave the school as his presence disturbs others in the class and no serious work can be done when he is there. Albert and the headmaster both agree to Former's leaving the school without creating any mess. Albert feels very pleased leaving that school and goes to the country wherein he wanted to build his dreams. So this is the summary of this whole chapter, and as I have earlier told you all that this book is for self-reading. So with the help of this summary you have got some idea. When you will read the chapter it will look more interesting because there are very comical, humorous parts also in the story and you'll really enjoy reading it. Those parts are not in this summary, so you cannot understand that laughter when you will really read and enjoy each and everything. The behavior of a student who is not willing to be in the school, he wants to leave the school, how he talks with his friends about the behavior of the other teachers, how he tells about his liking for mathematics. Everything, when you'll read the chapter, you'll come to know. So I hope you will read this chapter and you'll understand each and every part. Again, this chapter is really just made for those who are in the school or in the classes find that the system is not good and there is a need to change the system. So now this is the time to say thank you for watching. And one more thing, the schools are not made today. Since a long time the students are learning there, and like other institutions, this institution too have some pros and cons. So the students like Albert, they might have suffered, but believe me, there are so many changes nowadays in the school education system that is trying to solve your problems. In next video I'll come with the question answer. Until then, I hope you will read the chapter properly. Thank you once again.